Welcome back, everyone. Good night, or good evening, or good morning, wherever you live, whatever time zone you're roaming around. Nice to have you here. Good to still be here with our Gentleman Cup powered by Vortex.com. The league is going good. We have a 2-1 for Planetkey Dynamics going on now. It's a best of 5. Can they close the deal? We said it before. Will they go 3-1? Or will Innovation go for a 2-2 once again? We saw a lot of interesting decks today. We saw a mage. We saw a priest. Sadly losing both.
Two priests.
Two priests. Sadly losing. Even the mage. Well, the mage won once. I'm not even sure.
No,
we saw so many games. Your brain is getting quite melted if you're casting those. But what do I know? I know that the next game is going to be Via versus Beherit. And Timo is going to throw us into the deck screen here. We have for Via Hunter, Warrior, and Rogue. And for Beherit, there's Hunter, Druid, and Warrior. What do you think Via will start with?
I would love to see Rogue, but I think it's more likely to be a Control Warrior or a Hunter.
More likely to be a Control Warrior or a Hunter?
Yes.
So
I think Control Warrior.
I would just get surprised by everything, because we're just going to start the game. We just jump right into it. And, whoa.
It's a Hunter.
It's a Hunter.
Well, it's a full face Hunter. Oh. Well.
It's a full face Hunter with Abusive Sergeants and a Golden Leopard Gnome for Via versus a Control Warrior on Beherit. Well, obviously Control Warrior. There's nothing else in competitive play at the moment. So, what will happen? Who will win? I'm raising my dongers here for the full face Hunter. With a good draw.
I think the Control Warrior will win. Because it seems to be more anti-rush with the cleave. So he might even have a Wild Pyromancer. If he has a Wild Pyromancer, I think it should be a clean sweep for him.
It goes slightly in the favor of the Control Warrior with his cleave, absolutely. If he has a Wild Pyromancer, even more, since there's a lot of potential getting your opinion, well, crushed. He deals already some damage here. I mean, 2 is gone. With his Leopard Gnome, he will deal more damage next turn. Beherit is going for the Acolyte of Pain here. I'm not sure if I would cheer for that play. His minion will get silenced probably. And what? Maybe we see a second Leopard Gnome. He will fear that... Or not. He's not going to silence. I was like, maybe drop everything to diminish complete card draw. But I guess you can also keep your silences for those Armor Smiths, for example. Both moves are acceptable and good. Will he coin out his Leopard Gnome? Risky, but you're not predicting a cleave. You're always like, yeah, Whirlwind, but a cleave?
Nah.
Both would kill. Even a Whirlwind would kill both minions. So if he has either of those, it's risky, but, well, it's still 4 damage because those Leopard Gnomes, they trigger effects.
Yep. And they deal, of course, the Death Rattle is really, really important for the Leopard Gnome. They're most likely dealing 4 damage for 1 mana, and that's super worth.
Die, sir. Deal 2 extra damage. He armors up for 2. This is what you want to do as a Control Warrior. Always armor up every turn. Go for a long game. You're not closing the deal in 2, 4, 5 turns. Nah, you're going for 15 turns. Even for fatigue you, even against a Hunter, just survive, armor up with your skills. Never trigger his trap to get him more stacks on his weapon. Just be patient and chill for some time. But definitely armor up every turn.
And we see a Azure Drake, so you don't see Azure Drake in every single Control Warrior deck.
It's a more mid-rangey Control Warrior, but a mix-up with a Cleave. You don't see Cleave in every version, but in Catsy's newest, you actually see 2 Azure Drakes, 2 Krokons, 1 Cleave, 1 Armor Smith less. But you don't see a Brawl in every. That's a personal choice. I see Brawl in a lot. I see Brawl getting left out because people don't need it anymore or think they don't need it because of Krokons. I would still say Brawl has way too much value to not have it in your deck. And I'm happy to see Beherit values it high.
But against a full face Rush Hunter, like, he doesn't really have that many minions on the board. Like, don't you think that Corcoran Elite would be better in this case?
In this case, well, I would say he still has Corcoran Elite in.
Yes, yes.
He
yeah,
just has one less legendary in, like, maybe not playing a Black Knight, playing a Brawl, not playing a Faceless Manipulator, playing a Brawl. So that's what I think, where the Brawl is in for. Well, we can check his deck list. We will post those deck lists. I saw people asking a lot for where are those deck lists. Ooh. We're going to throw him out as soon as possible. Wow, and he brings him down to 9 already. But we see double shield block in his hand, plus a slam, so he can just get +5 armor now and slam his opponent out of the way. It's quite strong. And putting it under is a quite strong tap.
Yeah, and he gets another card. And there is one of those Corcoran Elites.
But you want to use him for value and not for running into an Arcane Golem.
Definitely not run him into the Golem.
Up to 16 HP with the armor, +7 next turn, maybe 2. So he would go up to 21 if he gets burned 2 armor. There is a kill command for Via, but he has, whoa. He might have 2 buzzards and a tracking. Well, what does he want to do? Buzzard, Timberwolf, coin, something?
Yeah, coin. Well, you would lose everything to a Whirlwind. But you get 4 cards.
You would lose everything to a Whirlwind, but that's just, yeah, everything that to a Whirlwind. And you really don't want that to happen. So he's going for the play. He draws a card with a card, drops the Timberwolf, draws 2 more cards, so we see 3 cards.
Coin.
Wolf Rider. Explosive. And he might coin out his Ironbeak Owl or use his tracking.
No, he wants to use his buzzards, that's for sure.
Oh, he could have used his tracking to get a Stone Tusk Boar, for example. But we saw the next 2 cards wouldn't have been a Stone Tusk Boar, so
nope.
It in the end no difference. But well, value wind incoming. He even did him a favor because the Whirlwind is not doing 2 damage; it's doing only 1 damage now, and that's pretty good for him. You can also go for Crocon and just charge in. And the good thing is he knows there might be Unleash incoming, but no Unleash Buzzard draw your deck combo.
I think I would have played the Black Knight instead of Corcoran, but that might just be me.
He really wants to rush him down now. If he draws a Fury of War Axe next turn, he can already deal 15 damage and maybe just kill him here. What I wouldn't have done is playing the shield block when I don't armor up with 2, so he just armored up by 3 effectively now. He may have gotten 5 armor, but he just missed those 2 armors from his passive. He could have just played Crocon, armor up normally. He was out of getting killed in 1 turn zone, so it wasn't necessary to pull off the shield block here. And those plays can actually cost you the game long term, especially if your enemy is going to drop an Eaglehorn Bow and 2 traps now. Or 1 trap.
I think you would only go for 1 trap, and I would say it's misdirection.
Absolutely misdirection here, and hope those 2 minions vaporize each other. That would be super useful. Still, he needs to watch out. He can lose this game. He needs to play it extremely safe, or, well, good. Let's say extremely good, to not get melted away by the Control Warrior here.
Yeah, I think the Control Warrior has the advantage right now. I would expect misdirection, Eaglehorn Bow, attack the face, use your ping. Yeah, and just hope for the best. Okay, I don't get that play at all.
He's just clearing the board and can still misdirect. Uses the tracking in the end. Goes for Wolf Rider.
What happens if you have the tracking open, you play it, and the time runs out?
I guess the time cannot run out while tracking is open, if I'm correct.
But then you can abuse it.
You could abuse it before. I'm not entirely sure. I guess all 3 cards get dropped. No, you might get a card by random. I would just throw out now. But I actually never thought that happening. I hope you know it. Like, viewership unite. And tell us what we don't know. Because I really don't have a clue what happens. So, do all cards get tossed? Which is not likely. So, I would say you get 1 random card if you lose your time while tracking.
That's what I would expect as well, yeah.
But what is Beherit gonna do now? He drew Gorehowl. He still has a Krokon, so he could just Krokon armor up and then Gorehowl face. I would even put that under... Yeah, why not? That's 4 damage. He has 7 damage in his hand. 23 HP. Back from 9 to 23. Exactly what you want to see.
That's legit.
Definitely.
Bow, 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 bow,
Steady shot, trap, Wolf Rider, maybe. And he has 10 damage in his hand with 2 kill commands. That's quite a lot of damage roaming around here.
But not enough.
Not enough? He can deal 5 now, followed up by a misdirection.
He has to use misdirection.
I would even go for misdirection explosive trap now.
Really?
Yes. That helps a lot. In the end, misdirection explosive trap. He just needs to deal maximum amount of damage. He does Wolf Rider 5 damage. Misdirection explosive could be 9 damage.
But then he's missing 2 from his ping.
Oh, he has enough. He doesn't have enough mana, so I just didn't see that. Happens.
And he had to use 1 kill command. That's meh.
The most annoying thing...
What happens if you have misdirection and now he equips Gorehowl and just hits him?
I can tell you what happens. He takes 7 damage to the face.
Yeah, I was expecting that.
Then Beherit plays Geddon next turn.
And it's over.
Easy GG. So I would absolutely do this. I wouldn't hesitate for a second, since if he knows it, it's safe 7 damage.
Ah, okay, it's over.
And it worked out perfectly for him.
Beherit wins the first round.
The first round of the set for the whole match, to go 2-2 here for innovation and not 3-run for Planetkey. And Via is really trying. I mean, he had a good draw. He did good damage. He's actually bringing him down really, well, not fast, but he's bringing him down low again. But now, Geddon and turn. GG.
See ya.
Nicely played here by Beherit. That's the 1-0 here for innovation in this set. Well, we saw they have more decks prepared. We are preparing our files here. I would say just put it in. Everything is good to go. We're just ready to jump right into the game.
Yep.
We saw once more a Warrior winning, which is good to see that Control Warrior is still possible to play, has still options viable. And well, now Via has a Rogue left, maybe Miracle, as you said. But as I know Via, it could be Tempo or Meligos, or counter Control Warrior.
Counter Control Warrior?
Also possible. If you play a Harrison, or if you have prepared this with a Harrison, you definitely have an advantage. But we will just jump right into the game to see what those players actually picked. And it's a Merca Rogue versus the still good and old Control Warrior. And then we have the first Merca Rogue where we see
a sprint. Yeah, that seems to be one of the newer versions. Or let's just put it that way. One of the versions with the sprint. Because you're so dependent on your Leroy and on your auctioneers.
The thing is, you actually never know if it's a newer version or if it was played season 1, season 2. If someone actually played it already and you're just saying, yeah, it's a newer version, and some guy in the community actually knows
like,
that was played season 2 already, you fools. This is quite amazing. He can go coin, preparation, eviscerate. It's quite crazy. And create an 8/8 Van Cleave instantly. If there's no execute from your enemy, at the best play to do here, but you get quite, well, you get quite behind.
And he decides to opt against it.
4-4 Van Cleave still good. There's the slam incoming. And we see he actually drew an execute. So happy for Via that he didn't overcommit so much since, wow. You know how much that would have hurt.
Would have. A lot. And it's a version with the Acolyte of Pain. So, no Cold Light Oracles yet.
Or never to be seen.
Yeah.
He gets more armor, and that's what I'm always saying. The Control Warrior, in my opinion, has a slight advantage over the Miracle Rogue if he gets off his early minions. So you need turn 1 drop, like turn 1 coin drop, turn 2 drop, turn 3 drop. You need to establish your early game play to armor up extremely high, and well, your enemy will have good problems to deal with your stuff in the end. Pen of Knives.
Would give him 2 more armor. I'm not sure if he really wants to do that.
He needs to do something. He cannot leave it alive. The thing is, he really doesn't want to prep to
play the SI7 agent.
To combo his SI7. He could cold blood an enemy and, well, SI7 agent it down, but that's super annoying play if you have to do it.
He could also prep and sprint.
He could also prep and sprint, absolutely. But do you need those? Okay, you need those cards. Let's not get it wrong. But is it worth it? And it's worth it. It's 4 cards. Like, keep it in mind, guys. 4 cards drawn easy mode now. That's quite a nice amount.
And now he has at least a lot of options.
But takes a lot of damage too.
But he has Selnus and the Fan of Knives.
You mean Selnus, prep, Fan of Knives, SI7 agent, kill everything?
Yes. Well, he has no prep.
Oh, he used the prep. I was like, there's still a prep in his hand. What are you talking about? Why are you trolling me? Nonetheless, Selnus, Fan of Knives would be a good play, even if he gets 3 armor. That's the only annoying thing. But you get the board cleared more or less with...
Well, there's still a 4-1 Cochrane Elite.
That will die to your SI7 agent next turn. But, yeah. Or he just weapons up, kills the Cochrane Elite, and next turn goes for... Blood Mage Selnus, Fan of Knives. So he still has those options. Sometimes that's a problem with your hand. If you have too many
cards.
If you have too many cards, too many options, you really do not know what you want to play.
What's up, Timo?
Okay, there's Blood Mage Selnus and a Fan of Knives incoming.
Pew, pew.
So it's 3 armor for the Control Warrior, and well, 1 card you draw here, but you bring him up to 7 already, and well, that quite hurts a lot. And he has another Crocon in his hand. He can just charge down your Selnus, or even go for the face, like really overcommit here, or not. I wouldn't call it an overcommitment. I would just call him balls to the walls here.
But a Beherit doesn't have that much card draw right now, and the options he has are not too many. Like the next turn, those Cochranes are gone.
3, 6, 10. He's gonna burn a hand card, and it's an Eviscerate. That was quite useful for Beherit here. So killing the Selnus was absolutely the thing he needed to do. But now is a Fan of Knives, SI7 agent incoming. Board is cleared, and you're standing there, pants down, with no options in your hand to do anything.
Well, I think he's gonna Shield Slam Acolyte armor up, because he has no options.
I'm surprised not by that play. It was quite obvious, and the Control Warrior is just running here out of things to do. He just lost his last I kill you instantly card with a Shield Slam and 11 armor. He has a Gamache in hand, so he's able to kill an Auctioneer. Well, but that's the best thing of all times for Merkur Rogue. You get your weapon with 7 attack. That's 4 times 7, that's 28 damage, and you can even go for Blade Flurry. Wow, I just see here instant win for Via by those cards. He kind of needs to play his Gamache now and deal as much damage as possible and really cross his fingers for a Whirlwind, because that's the only card in his deck he can play for 9 mana to win the game here.
Well, he can play the Gamache, hope that it survives, and then slam him next round.
He will get shift. In my brain, I was like, he will get shift, probably. And then he really needs a Whirlwind to win if his Acolyte of Pain actually survives. Well, but as I said, he could just backstab and Blade Flurry, and that Gamache would vaporize. So 14 damage from Via with his weapon and Blade Flurry possible here. And he would even draw 2 cards with the Auctioneer. So that would just hurt so much. Let's
see what he decides to do.
This game seems to be pre-patch too. No time limits. Oh, I'm lying. There's a time limit coming already, so it's not pre-patch. Via versus Beherit, it's past patch match.
No value.
This is going to hurt since we said it before. Via can draw so many cards now. That's Auctioneer, backstab 1. Shift 2 if he wants to. Get a preparation 3. Play here Cold Blood if he really wants to. That's just crazy.
Backstab.
And hope for a prep.
Wow.
Well, I'm just saying, called it here. First on TV. Draw 1 more card. That's the White Pyromancer version. I like the White Pyromancer version. It's a pretty cool one. You can shift the phase, deal even more damage, get more cards.
2 more cards.
Well, another backstab. So he can backstab that minion and use his SI7 agent.
That's 2 cards. Don't give the Control Warrior options right now. You have like such a huge advantage. Why risk it? Just play the SI7 and attack his face, like deal the 2 damage to the warrior.
Or kill the Acolyte of Pain instantly with your Beherit to make him struggle. I mean, he needs to kill your minion somehow.
He's gonna suicide either way.
Yeah, he's gonna suicide either way, but he could maybe suicide execute, for example. That's what you need to fear. I'm just considering every possible. Now he can cleave, ping, and see what happens. Well, I would ping first. First of all, ping.
See what you get.
Yeah. Then maybe cleave, maybe not. But still, ping first. Hope for a good card like a Whirlwind to draw another card.
The question is, would you ping or go for a burst combo of 12 next round?
Or burst combo of 12 next. The problem is, yes, you have the burst combo, but it won't win you the game. That's the main problem. You can do 12 damage, but you're not going to kill him, and if you don't kill him now, you see that weapon in his hand, you're definitely going to lose.
Oh, nice.
Well, you don't need it.
I mean the Zurdrake, because the cleave gets 3/3 and he can clear the board and draw another card.
And he gets a Fury Win-X. So you need that first, and then you could have gone for your play. So if he knew I'm going to draw 1 Fury War-X by attacking once, yes, accept your play. So how much damage do we have? We have 7 with a Blade. We have 14 with Blade Flurry. There's Leroy and Cold Blood incoming.
24. But if he plays a Wild Pyromancer and then just 2 skills, that should be enough.
That's 14 plus 10, 24 plus Eviscerate, 28 in my brain.
Yeah, it's over.
That should be super GG here.
GG!
Wow, Via actually closes it to a 1-1 here. He really doesn't want to lose, and we see once again how strong Murka Rogue is in the end. You really need to fear this deck. I mean, you have 26 HP, and you're happy, and you're alive, and you have a good hand, you have Gamash, and you have Gorhal, and you're like, yes, I'm not gonna lose in any case possible.
And then you lost.
And then you lost. You need... These days, so if you're in ladder and you meet Murka Rogue all day long and you are like, oh god, what should I do? Put an Ooze or Harrison in your deck. Just a slight tip I can give you. In my control warrior, I'm considering playing an Ooze too. I haven't met so many Murka Rogues. I played yesterday quite for some hours. I haven't met more than one Murka Rogue in that time. So I could work around it. But if you start meeting a lot of decks, like a lot of the same deck after each other during a day of laddering, always tend to, okay, Harrison for 5 games. If he has value, leave him in. If he has no value, kick him out. That's just one simple tip you can follow. But we will just drop in the next game here. Via versus Beherit. It's 1-1. Hunter for Via gone. Warrior for Beherit gone now. We're gonna see a Murka Rogue once again on Via, and we will see if Beherit is going to play Druid or Hunter. Both decks possible against Murka Rogue. We said it before, Druid is good with a lot of taunts.
Exactly.
But full face Hunter or Hunter, Sunshine Hunter, can close the deal too. Let's just jump into the game and see what will happen.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. I think the normal Hunter, the normal Druid, or just the Druid with all the taunts, is really strong, especially against the Miracle Rogue, because after those 2 zaps, he's struggling to attack you.
I would agree here too. The zaps are powerful, and you should keep them in your starting hand. The Druid is known for Innovate Coin, turn 2, Druid of the Claw, and then you can just zap your enemy. I would put it under super nice, can work. Via tends to drop that zap, and well, it could also be what we said before, what we saw before in one warrior game. You drop a starting hand, which is useful, and you end up with more crappy stuff. I mean, his hand is good, not saying it's crappy, but always the starting hand is really important. It's not like, well, my starting hand, let's see what happens. He can just coin, innervate out, Druid of the Claw, taunt it up, and have a 4/6 minion, which is, well, a big problem for Via.
Which is also super risky against the zap, because then you would lose 2 cards.
We know Via dropped his zap. Beherit thinks he has one, obviously, else he would just go instantly for the play. Sometimes you have to risk it. If you want to risk it in a team league thing, I'm not sure. The play is not questionable. The play is just, well, risky or not so risky.
It's a coin flip.
Yeah. If you're a risky player, you do it. If you're a more defensive, more cautious player, you wouldn't do it. Sometimes the more cautious player loses because he thinks about too many things that could happen that don't happen in the end. So being risky can turn out to be the correct way of playing this.
Yeah, he's limited in options right now. Because yeah, turn 3 or turn 2 Druid of the Claw, kinda nasty to deal with.
He could play his Acolyte of Pain now, but well, that will get... That will just get rest, I would say. And then next turn, or in 2 more turns, there's the next Druid of the Claw incoming. It hurts quite hard. He could play Leroy to clear this problem, but you really don't want to. We see here in Via's hand already Assassin's Blade and Deadly Poison again. Plus, and a Preparation, and an Auctioneer, and a lot of spells.
He can actually clear. With Backstab.
With Backstab.
Fan of Knife, Deadly Poison.
Yes, he can. And he even gets his Shadow Stab for Leroy.
That's nice.
Well, it felt like he could clear, but still, it felt sad. I'm just saying it felt sad.
Yeah, he had to
waste
put
a lot of stuff.
effort into it. Yeah.
Is he going to play his Big Game Hunter? I would actually cheer for a Big Game Hunter. I know he's good against Van Cleef.
But you can also just play Keeper of the Grove against Van Cleef.
Exactly. Well, he doesn't have it in his hand, so he might value his Big Game Hunter way too high to just drop it. We know Miracle Rogue can always go Preparation, Van Cleef, Shadow Step, Van Cleef, Kaboom, 8-8. So easy mode for Van Cleef, maybe. He has a white Pyromancer, we knew that before. Maybe attack before you play Assassin's Blade.
Just saying.
Sometimes it happens. We cannot know what Via is thinking.
Yeah, and he doesn't. Makes sense.
Getting the blade out, always an option. Since with Preparation and his Gizgita and Auctioneer, he wouldn't draw any cards. Well, he would draw some cards, but he really needs to get a spell he can prep. There is the second.
He could go Pyromancer.
Pyromancer prep as a 7 agent.
Yeah.
Kill.
But that's so much.
So many cards again for such a stupid minion. The funny thing is, he could just play his Leroy. Just saying, he could just run in his Leroy, go for the phase, and then next turn go Pyromancer something to just vaporize all those small minions.
It's not optimal for Via. Let's put it that way.
Absolutely not.
Wait.
Oh, he's going to Shadow Step.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense. Else it would be like, okay, why would you do that, sir? He drops down to 3. He finishes it off. And he has an SI7 agent on the hand. He can still play for 1. And I guess I would throw him out for those 2 damage. And 3 on board.
For one reason, swipe.
Well, we know your enemy has a swipe. He doesn't know it. We said it before. Sometimes there has to be that risky and not so cautious play. Swipe incoming, and then Ancient of War next turn. That hurts.
Looks really, really bad for Via.
And it looks extremely good for Beherit. And might he be able to close the deal here? We do not know.
Give us the sprint. Sap.
Well, Sap is super nice. You really want to have it for the next turn play.
He has to play the Auctioneer.
He has to play the Auctioneer, but if he uses his Preparation, he really doesn't know if he gets another spell to use or if he's just hanging with the Sap. That would be super stupid, if, not stupid, super annoying if you just wasted your Preparation. Now he can actually go for Auctioneer, Preparation, Sap, and get rid of that Cairn. And he even gets a Shadow Step too for his Leroy. It's looking good for Via again. There's even a backstab coming, so he can backstab his own or the enemy minion. I guess I would do both, backstab and sap it.
Just to draw cards now?
Yeah, you need that infinite card draw. You need to mill your deck. You want to get Cold Bloods here to do more damage with Leroy than, well, you can do now.
And you need a second sap.
You need a second sap to get rid of Ancient of War.
Yep.
Upcoming next turn, gonna be super annoying. The advantage is he's not able to kill your Auctioneer, so you're most likely drawing more and more and more cards. Well, he knows if he saps here, I won't have sap for the next stuff.
Most likely not.
Acolyte of Pain incoming. And he cannot play anything more. But he deals damage, damage, and damage down to 21 with Leroy, Shadow Step, Leroy, SI7 agent.
14 damage.
He could deal 14 damage plus weapon.
Plus 4 with the Auctioneer.
So in theory, he has 21 damage and he has a Cairn with Mark of the Wild incoming. But I would say that tree is even better. That's a 5/10 monster. Beast Mode Van Cleef, you're calling it?
Well, the problem is we know that there's still a big game hunter, and he could, yeah, expect it as well.
The problem is just he has a Shadow Step, but he cannot make use of it. So he would need to play Acolyte of Pain, SI7 Agent, Shadow Step, SI7 Agent to draw a card and then draw more cards.
That was well played. That was really, really well played.
6/6 Van Cleef, absolutely useful.
I mean, you could go for Mark of the Wild, Black Knight combo, you could go for Mark of the Wild. Yeah. Big Game Hunter. There are a couple of options.
A couple of options. If you go for some Mark of the Wild combo, I would prefer Mark of the Wild Big Game Hunter.
Definitely.
Since you could kill Van Cleef.
Well, actually, I wouldn't.
But I would kill Van Cleef and then kill the Auctioneer and just heal my tree up with my healing touch to get it back to 10 HP.
Really, you would? You would heal it up?
Yeah.
I would prefer to heal myself up.
Well, you can also Mark as White your minion, just kill Van Cleef and then heal your minion up into Oblivion, and you would have a 7/12 minion. That's rather hard to kill.
It is, but once it gets sapped, you're in trouble.
That's why I prefer the kill, Mark of the Wild, Big Game Hunter, heal combo. So you have a 5/10 tree instead of a 5/6 tree.
Why would you go for the... okay, now I get it. I would prefer the Mark of the Wild taunt combo because you get a 4/5 minion.
Sure. That 4/5 minions is absolutely more useful than the Big Game Hunter. I was just thinking about, you really want to keep your tree alive. You don't want to lose it, since if you lose it, or when you lose it, your face is open for Leroy Rush. Oh, this is good.
6 damage.
This is good and annoying. You don't want it. You could deal those 5 damage on his minion and finish off with the Acolyte of Pain, but you really don't want to waste your Deadly Poison on 2 swings. Huh. You're calling a heart. I'm calling it, yeah.
Yeah, you go for Deadly Poison, kill the big tree, play your Leroy, attack him, and then you could seal. And
cross your fingers, you survive 1 more turn, and then burn his face into pieces.
Exactly.
I think that Via should do that. I mean, the game is important. It's 1-1 between Beherit and Via here.
And it's 2-1 between the teams. This means Beherit has to take the win.
Meine Güte. Those Germans.
Meine Güte.
Throwing in German words
Was
out of
reden die
random.
nur?
I guess he needs to do it. The main problem is he will drop down to 10.
Yeah.
There's 4 damage on the board. That's extremely risky. And there's not only 4 damage, there will be 6, 7 damage on the board together with the small minions and with those Leroy spawns. He might not go Leroy Conceal. I would have concealed my 3/3 at least. Well, good job he didn't go for it, since Alex Strada would have healed up quite a lot and Healing Touch is still roaming around. At the moment when you think like, oh god, I'm not gonna win this game.
This looks grim, dude.
Yeah, 24 HP, even for, or especially for a Miracle Rogue, you just have some damage you can deal here.
17.
And not 1 bazillion damage you can deal.
17 damage, game's over.
Servia. If he gets a Cold Blood, he can do, instead of 17, he deals 21. But that's still not enough.
How should he get a new card?
I'm just saying, even if he redraws a Cold Blood next turn, if he survives 1 more turn, because there's only 9 damage on the board at the moment,
yeah, true.
He would need to get a Cold Blood, but even with the Cold Blood, he's not going
he
to
would
win.
need to get an Auctioneer.
But then he won't have enough mana to do what he needs to do.
Well, there's still 1 prep in there. If he would get an Auctioneer, play...
Everything Fate, because Leroy is 4 and he would use 9 mana. So even with the preparation,
True, it's Auctioneer's 5 there.
he cannot play him twice. Well, if he buys himself some time with the Eviscerate on Black Knight, for example, he can maybe sustain even longer.
He has to.
In my opinion, he should have played Leroy last turn and concealed those two. And that was his only chance to maybe win. It would have been 3 damage more. I guess still not enough to pull it off.
Yeah.
White grows into 1 card. He can even go for Nourish into some cards. Gets a card here, gets a Raz. Can just go Nourish for more cards. I would even go for it. Just draw everything.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe you get... I really don't know what you want to get to finish the game here instantly. He's pinging his own minion for card draw. That seems legit for me.
Like, what would he need to draw?
He can just Nourish, which is way smarter since...
He could get a Keeper of the Grove. Something.
He has a swipe, so 1 game, whatever happens. Well, it was a 1 game before, whatever happens. His enemy is down to 1 HP. So Beherit will close the deal here against Via. Via is 1 HP. We haven't seen a 1 HP match the whole season. Only 2 weeks of the season.
No, we saw one.
We saw one. Okay, I'm just lying. I'm just over-exaggerating to make everything a bit more interesting. Can Via survive this somehow? No, he cannot.
No.
Even if he's able to clear the board twice. So even if he's able to get rid of Cairn, and that several times, still not going to win him. He can deal 4 damage with Leroy, Shadow Stab him, play him again, 12 damage. He can deal 6 damage, he can deal 12 damage. He can fan off knives in the end. But overall, he can kill a lot of small drakes with a fan of knives. So he's scaring his enemy. So we talked about this. He's hoping for him to instant concede.
I would have threatened. And said well played when I started the Leroy combo.
He gets another Eviscerate, but nothing to trigger it with. That's kind of sad. I would say. Concede here on Via, and Beherit makes it a 2-2. They're going in the final showdown again.
They will go into the showdown. 2 best of 5s. 2 showdown matches.
And that's how
what a great day.
That's how it should be. That's the first day of week 2 of our Hearthstone Tournament Cup powered by Vortex.com. So we're early in the league. You haven't missed anything. And it's 2-2 between PKD and Innovation. Who will they send into the final match? I could tell you after a quick break, the last break for today. So we're just heading over into it. We'll be right back in several minutes. And then you just need around 30 to 1 hour more. You can go into bed or partying, but tune in, stay awake, stay alive with us.